Hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with a bit of a little kind of a different video, guys. A video that I don't think I've ever done before concerning the topic that I'm going to be talking about. But I've been promising this video for a long time, guys, and I've been putting it off. I think I started promising this back in April, maybe March even. And I just kept putting it off, and now it's the summer, and I feel like I'm free, and I feel like it's a good time for me to finally talk about this subject that I've wanted to talk about for so many months now. But of course, guys, judging by the title of this video, I am going to be doing basically a discussion, basically trying to suck your interest into this one topic. And of course, I'm going to be talking about in this video film distribution company A24 Films. Yeah, I know, I've never made one of these videos, but I feel with the release of the films that these films have, that the studio has distributed, I feel like I can't escape talking about this studio because they've just distributed so many great movies. It's really just left me in awe over the last like 3 years. So I needed to just talk about them. So if you guys have never heard of A24 Films, I'm basically going to describe who they are, how they were founded. I'll talk about some of their movies. I own all of the A24 films that I personally have seen in the last couple years on Blu-ray, so I'll talk about them. I'll talk about some films I haven't seen, and I really just want to take this time. This is my A24 Spotlight video. I really want to just take this time to just really sing the praises of this distribution company in the films they've released specifically, and just how I love how they're able to just pick their films so beautifully. Like, they make perfect choices in which films to acquire and then thus finance/distribute. So let's get into a bit of a history lesson, because I'm sure some of you guys don't even know what A24 is. If you are a mainstream audience member, this video probably isn't for you because you've probably never heard of any of these movies. Probably never. But if you're an indie film lover like myself, then you probably already know what they are. But anyway, A24 is a film distribution company. They also produce/finance movies. And they founded in 2013 was the year they released their first movie. They ended up releasing 5 films that year. However, the year that they, the founders got together and started, putting ideas together to form this company was late 2012. And our 3 founders, we have 3 males who I think have had previous connections to like marketing of movies and whatnot. We had 3 males who founded the company, and the names of these 3 men are Daniel Katz, David Fenkel, and John Hodges. I believe I got all their names right. I've never heard any of those names before until I started researching A24, of course. I believe I've heard of John Hodges, though. The name is faintly familiar. I didn't further research these men. I just know that they are the founders, that they're all co-founders, and their location is currently in New York, which is actually pretty close to me. I mean, I live in New York, so one day I'll go sneak into that company and just tell them how much I love them. All kidding aside, they are located in New York, and they have a lot of young people, mostly in their 20s and 30s, who work in like these like like very lengthy rectangular tables, and they deal with, finances and whatnot. And I don't think there's a specific executive department present in the building. I don't know if the 3 founders are like always there. I mean, it's pretty exciting to think that a company that distributes these movies that I really like, 7 movies. First off, all the 7 movies I have seen from this company, I have given a grade higher than a 9. Okay, I've not given one a grade lower than a 9 out of 10 or an A-. So what does that tell you guys? I mean, that tells you I've really enjoyed these movies. When they first launched, basically their main goal was, I think, to distribute between 8 to 10 films a year. And when they first launched in 2013, they only did 5. So in order to catch up on that, they ended up distributing like 14 to 15 in 2014. And in this year, 2015, I think they have another 10 coming out, maybe a little bit less, maybe 9 or so coming out already. We've already had like half of them already released. And of course I'll get more into the films. I'm just more so talking about the company now. I'll get more into the films in a sec. But that's pretty amazing that their aim is to distribute that many films. And up to date, it is currently July 23rd. The day I'm filming this video, they have distributed 24 films so far. So that's pretty damn impressive if you ask me. I mean, that's amazing, actually. Apart from just distributing movies, I think their other main mission was to really get smaller films with either very low budgets or very like moderately sized budgets. You know, like I'm talking like $10,000, $20,000, maybe $30,000. I don't think one of their films have gone over that number. I think I read somewhere in a news article that their main goal is to really get these movies into the national conversation. And that is why they founded A24 and then started distributing these films. So I think that's pretty amazing. And I really think that because they have given these films to certain independent film theaters, that we have actually gotten a chance to really start talking about these movies. And I think because they've gotten so many great movies and you know, released these great movies to us movie lovers, I think that's why everybody's like, A24, man, they're the ones to be on the lookout for. They're distributing some really good movies. And, I mean, the only sad thing is that they're only well known by indie movie lovers because these films are more so independent, they have very low budgets, and they're what you would call, like, you know, independent art house projects, you know? But you know what? For me, I love all types of movies. I love big blockbusters, but you know what? When you give me a good independent film with some incredible performances and a compelling story, memorable characters and whatnot, which every one of these A24 films that I've seen has done, then, I mean, you've flown under my radar, and A24 has indeed flown under my radar. I think the only thing that they, personally, I think the only thing that they really need to improve on at this point is really just, you see, they could improve on this, but they won't. I know they won't. And it's sad because mainstream audience members are not going to see these movies. What I feel that they could definitely improve on in order to get these films to make their budgets back are to release these films, give them wider releases. Because don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with these movies going into limited releases. Sometimes I can't see them, so I have to wait for Blu-ray. Like last year, I had to wait for Enemy and Under the Skin to come on Blu-ray before I could watch them and lock. And then they didn't, you know, those movies didn't go wide. So that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I understand why they're not going wide. Because if you were to release these movies in a wide, like AMC theater or something like that, is the public really going to enjoy these movies? I don't think so. Because these movies need you to think. Okay, you need to turn on your brain and interpret what these movies are trying to say. And because of that, you know, people, mainstream audience members who don't like to think, they like to shut their brain off and just let the movie tell them everything that's going on and blah blah blah. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there's nothing wrong with thinking and using your brain when you watch a movie, and that's why I love watching movies like this, and that's why they're not distributing these films wide. And for that reason, I understand and I applaud them, because it's true. These mainstream audience members would do nothing but shit on these movies. It's true. It's stupid. It sucks, but it's true. It's the facts. And I think that's one of the main reasons why they haven't gone wide. These films are for more so the independent art film lovers, and that is why people like me enjoy watching these movies. And mainstream audience members, go watch, I don't know, go watch something that Marvel does, or Ant-Man, or Jurassic World, whatever. No, I'll take these movies any day, just saying. But right now, I just want to get into the movies themselves, but I just had to bring that up about them not making back their budgets. I think the only one that did make back its budget was recent hit Ex Machina. It's the only one that made, I think, almost 5 times its budget, to be completely honest. Maybe 4 times, 3 times its budget back. So that's good. But all the rest of these that I'm about to talk about, they didn't, unfortunately. So, before I bring up these movies, I have a list of directors, and I'm sorry, I would have just like shouted their names out off the top of my head, but there's so many names. But here's a list of directors that have directed movies that were distributed by A24. Some of these directors are very well known. There are some incredible directors that are household names that have directed these movies. Two that I could think of are on this list. And the others are more so up and coming, and since they've directed these films distributed by A24, I now want to watch more of their movies. So, good move on the director's part as well, you know, to do a good job with these movies, get them noticed by A24, and then get them distributed by A24. So here's just a list. The two well-known directors that have directed films from A24 were Sofia Coppola, who did, she directed The Bling Ring, but also did, that movie with Bill Murray, Lost in Translation, won Oscars. And Kevin Smith, who did Clerks. Kevin Smith did a bunch of movies. He directed Tusk. But then we have my favorite director working today, one of my favorites working today, Denis Villeneuve. I know I'm saying his name wrong, I always do. He directed Enemy, one of my favorites of last year. And he's starting to become one of my favorite directors because of films like Enemy and his other film, Prisoners. We have James Ponsoldt, who did The Spectacular Now, and most recently he's going to be doing The End of the Tour, starring Jason Segel and Jesse Eisenberg, which comes out in a week. Then we have Harmony Korine, did Spring Breakers. Jonathan Glazer did Under the Skin. We had Stephen Knight do Locke. We had J.C. Chander, who's starting to also become very well known, did A Most Violent Year. We have Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina, of course. Noah Baumbach did While We're Young. Roman Coppola did, I think he directed the first A24 distributed film. I can't remember what it is, though. And then David Mykod, another name, he directed The Rover. I mean, a lot of these directors are really starting to get well known. J.C. Chander is really, like, a lot of people are really starting to appreciate his movies. I can't wait to watch Stephen Knight's next movie. Of course, Denis Villeneuve's. If Jonathan Glazer does another movie, I can't wait to watch these men's, their next films. And, even Sofia Coppola, but I haven't seen The Bling Ring. I can't wait to watch their next movies because their movies are so good. These distributed films are so damn good. And before I show all the Blu-rays I have of all the 6 films I've seen, I just want to get into a few actors that have really started to make it big after starring in these A24 distributed films. These actors were already big, but it shows you that, mainstream audience members should really appreciate A24 films, or films that are released from them. Because listen to these well-known actors that have been in these movies. We had Oscar Isaac in not 1, but 2 A24 films within the last year. That's crazy. We have Tom Hardy, Scarlett Johansson, Jake Gyllenhaal, James Franco, Emma Watson, Michael Fassbender, Jason Segel in the upcoming End of the Tour, Ryan Reynolds, Shailene Woodley, Miles Teller, Jessica Chastain. A lot of these actors are just, like, they're well-known actors. And I think that, the fans of these actors, so to speak, should go see them in these movies. And give these movies love, because that's frankly what they need. And then we've had 4 actors. I picked 4 actors out of this list who have been in big breaks. Like, they've made their big breaks with an A24 film. And I've picked Shailene Woodley and Miles Teller. Both went on to do the Divergent films. Miles Teller got Whiplash last year. Shailene Woodley did Fault in Our Stars. And what was one of their first big breakout roles that earned them Independent Film Spirit Awards love? The Spectacular Now. Oscar Isaac, who made it small in Drive and Inside Llewyn Davis, he just starred in 2 A24 films, Most Violent Year and Ex Machina. And now he's going to be in Star Wars Episode 7 at the end of the year. That's pretty big. And then also, Oscar Isaac's co-star from Ex Machina, Alicia Vikander, who played Ava in that movie. Excellent breakout performance. She is now going to be in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and I'm pretty sure people are going to start to look towards her for other upcoming roles because of how great she was in Ex Machina. That's another thing. A lot of these actors will give breakout performances in these movies, and they're going to get more and more attention and love, and I got to give A24 props for that as well, of course. And I think, honestly, one of the only saddest factors about this film distribution company, these films have gone so popular and they're so awesome. The saddest factor, they've gotten a lot of awards consideration from like the Independent Film Spirit Awards. I think A Most Violent Year was one of AFI's best, or it won like a Guild Award somewhere. I can't remember where, but it was on like critics. Like, these movies make critics' top 10 lists and all that, and that's great. But not one of A24's films that have currently been released, all 24 of their films, not one of them has received an Oscar in the last 3 years, which in my opinion is a frickin' shame, because all of these movies are incredible and deserve much Oscar consideration. I think 4 of last year's A24 films, Enemy, Lock, Under the Skin, and A Most Violent Year, all 4 of those movies deserve Best Picture nominations in my opinion. I'm serious. They deserved it. So that's just a damn shame. Let me get into one of the final points I have to make about A24 films. I know I'm getting long into this video, but I've got a lot to say because this studio is just freaking incredible. But one of the biggest praises I can give this movie, this distribution company, is that they know the right films to pick. Mainly because all these films that I've seen from A24, and again, I'll say this again, I've yet to see a bad movie from them. All these films that I have seen have had incredible, intriguing, and compelling stories with a wide degree of varying topics that were covered within them. They've had memorable characters with extraordinary performances, memorable character actions and decisions, and incredible underlying themes and messages that are interwoven and hidden throughout the movie. And the other great thing about all these A24 films is that they're all not just the same thing. They're all different. They all tell different themes and different messages. They all have different subjects. They all tackle different subject matter. And that's the incredible thing about them. All of these films also leave you in wonder and awe after you finish watching them and make you sit there and interpret what you've just watched. They all make you think. They open your mind to all of the possibilities of what the filmmakers are trying to say, what subjects are being depicted and whatnot. All of that happens in an A24 distributed release, and I can prove all that with all of these movies. I mean, all 6 of these. And even most recently, a documentary that I just watched, Amy, my review is currently up on my channel. One of the best documentaries I've seen in a while, and one of the best movies of the year so far. Again, Amy, great movie. Great documentary. Really harsh documentary. But again, it's just, they make you think. And they do things differently than mainstream films, and that's some of the best praise I have to give A24, for sure. But yes, I own Enemy on Blu-ray. This, in my opinion, is in my top 5 of last year. It is that good. It deals with so many great underlying themes of the subconscious and infidelity, and just please watch this movie. It's my favorite A24 film thus far. My second favorite is, without a doubt, Lock, which it's set in a damn car for the whole movie, guys. Come on. It's set in a car for the whole movie. It deals with so many incredible themes about consequences and making decisions and morality and doing the right responsible thing. And I just love Lock and Enemy. Under the Skin perfectly is about beauty and acceptance in the eyes of the human. Perfect movie. That's my third favorite. My fourth favorite, I believe, is, I can't remember how I ranked them exactly, but you know what, I'll do A Most Violent Year next, because this also came out in 2014. Perfect film about the American dream and honesty and corruption. Just, it reminded me of The Godfather. What can I say? That shows you the film is pretty damn good. The Spectacular Now has so many proposed so many different ideas, and it wasn't that crappy, cliched melodramatic, teen romance movie. It dealt with love and alcoholism in such an incredible way. Great movie. And then most recently, Ex Machina dealt with acceptance and image and what it means to be human, essentially, in a perfect way, in a really clever and twisted story. And it's just some of the praise I have to give these films. And most recently, Amy, which is a freaking documentary, guys. This is a documentary. This movie was so harsh and devastating in its depictions of the media and fame and alcoholism and drugs, and oh, it's so good. All these films I've given grades higher than a 9 out of 10, and I haven't given one lower. It makes me ashamed to say that I've only seen those 7 movies. I really need to see The Bling Ring and Spring Breakers, and I want to see Michael Fassbender's most recent Slow West. And I want to see No Bumbox While We're Young, and I want to see Kevin Smith's Tusk and Laggies, and just a lot of other movies that I've unfortunately missed, but I will definitely, most certainly catch up on in the next, couple of months, I guess. And then just to keep you guys aware of their upcoming films that deserve attention. Again, as I said, the end of the tour is coming out at the end of July next week with Jason Segel and Jesse Eisenberg, and it's got a high Rotten Tomatoes score, and it looks great. Gonna try to check it out as well. And then we have another one coming out at the end of the year, Mississippi Grind, starring Ryan Reynolds and Ben Mendelsohn, and it looks really good as well. Check out the trailer that just dropped for that, and I just can't wait to see what's the future in store for A24 Films. That's what I really can't wait, honestly, for. With that said, I'm not here to promote A24. I'm not here to sponsor them. I'm not getting paid to do this video for them. I don't work for them. I'd love to, but I don't. They're a film distribution company, though. I'm more into filmmaking. But the point of this video is to just simply get people to know about A24. I hope I went in depth enough to discuss not only the studio themselves, but just the different movies that have been released from this studio. And I hope I whetted your appetite, if you haven't seen these movies, to go and see these movies. Because they're all incredible, they're all different, they're all varying, they all deal with different themes, and they're all just spectacular to watch, fascinating to behold, and that is the best praise I have to give A24. Again, if you've never heard of this company, Google them, go to their website, follow them everywhere, give them support. I really just want to get a great distribution company some well-known respect and love, and I want people to start seeing these movies because they need more attention. And that was the point of why I wanted to make this video, essentially. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are on A24. Do you like their films? Do you like the films you've seen from them? What is your favorite film currently from A24? And what are you looking forward to them? Do you think they're going to continue this hot streak like I do? I still haven't seen a bad movie from them, and I don't think I will anytime soon. With that said, guys, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you I hope you liked this video, and I hope you share this video as well to people who haven't seen an A24 film. That's really what the purpose of this video is. I want you to share this video with anyone who hasn't seen an A24 film that would love a film from them. That really makes you use this brain. Anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye, guys.